What has Vladimir Putin got to do with Jeffrey Epstein? The Russian president's name appears more than 1,000 times in the latest files. His inclusion doesn't imply any wrongdoing, and there's no evidence the two ever met. But boy, it sounds like Epstein wanted to. The latest emails appear to reveal repeated attempts by the convicted sex offender to court the Kremlin leader. And there's even an audio file in which Epstein can be heard coaching someone on how to approach Putin.
So the key would be, I would think about, not decided, that at some point you can say, look, I would send a note to Putin, saying I'm going to leave government in March 14th. I'm going to be in Scandinavia, or I plan to be in Northern Europe. We should have dinner. That's it. No more. It has to be very short.
Substantive mention of Vladimir Putin in these files is from September 2011. An unnamed contact refers to a meeting Epstein said he'd arranged with Putin later that month. Now, there's no evidence that actually happened, and there are no more details. But from 2013 onwards, the emails show that Epstein made several bids to meet with Putin through Norway's former Prime Minister, Torbjørn Jagland. In May that year, Epstein emailed Jagland saying this: "I know you are going to meet Putin on the 20th. He is desperate to engage Western investment in his country. I have his solution." He then adds, "I recognize that there are human rights issues that are at the forefront of your trip. However, if it's helpful to you, I would be happy to meet with him sometime in June and explain the solution to his top priority. I think this would be good for your goals." But it appears that meeting never happened. After pestering Jagland to follow up with Putin's chief of staff, Epstein then complains that he's heard nothing back. In July 2014, though, he tries again. In an email, a contact tells him, "I wasn't able to convince Reed to change his schedule to go meet Putin with you." Epstein replies, "Bad idea now after plane crash." That's a reference to the Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 that was shot down over eastern Ukraine 3 days before that email was sent, killing all 298 people on board. But it doesn't sound like Epstein was put off for long, because a year later, July 2015, he's at it again. In another email to Jagland, he says, "I still would like to meet Putin and talk economy. I would really appreciate your assistance." And then there are more attempts in 2016, 2017, and finally 2018. In June that year, a one-line email to Jagland once again: "Would love to meet with Putin." So there's no smoking gun here. And when asked about the files, the Kremlin said it did not receive any offer from Jeffrey Epstein for a meeting with Vladimir Putin. Still, it's interesting to see how the Russian media is covering this story, because, in short, they're not. It's given very little mention at all here, and when it is, the focus is elsewhere, on people like Bill Clinton, Peter Mandelson, and the Crown Princess of Norway. So even though there's no evidence or implication that the pair ever met, Vladimir Putin's inclusion in the Epstein files is clearly not something